Oh, just a little farm update today. I figure it was a good day to do it since the buckets of water have finally stopped falling from the sky. You know, the funny thing is we had a year just like this in 2014. And I mean, it was a wet spring here. I don't know how it was in your area, but it was wet. Couldn't get in the field. Finally got my last field planted about June 12th, and that was in soybeans. And you know, got a crappy harvest off that, mainly because the deer were just putting a beat down on it. I mean, the guy that I rented the field off of told me flat out, he's like, "Oh, I'm seeing 24 to 25 deer a night in this field." I'm like, "Oh, thanks for telling me there, guy." But here's what I call a tractor bridge. I mean, you got water running here, water being held there in the field. You know, it runs right down through the pasture and whatnot. But and the pasture's starting to grow up quite a bit. I mean, in a month from now, that'll be neck or eyeball high. So, but just to show you how wet the field is, I mean, I won't be getting in this till at least Friday. You know, knowing the field and looking at the weather report, if it's even remotely accurate, I'm looking at maybe throwing beans in the ground here on Friday. You know, the thing I don't want to do is get in here too early and just make more ruts. I mean, it's just stupid. Beans can be planted late, no doubt. Really, my best bean harvest ever, at least down here, was planted May 27th, 2012. And did real well. Actually, look at this. I got volunteer bean growth. You know, that's just from volunteer growth. There's some more over here, you know, just volunteer growth and whatnot. But holy crap. This is all volunteer growth here. I might not even need to plant this field. Check that out. Huh. No kidding. It's all in going in the V2 stage of the soybeans, and I mean, it's loaded in through here. I haven't been out here. Huh. Well, holy camole, look at the beans. This is not planted. This is just disked, and that's what's been coming up. Holy. Those would be Hubner 2.7s from last year coming up already, but you know, they're going to get ground in, and I'm going to plant fresh. But I am astonished at the amount of volunteer growth. So, but anyways, I'll walk over here. This is generally a barometer of how the field or farm generally is as far as plantability. This spot here. Now, since I've had Cherry Hill essentially butchered, it's been a lot better because now this is getting sun. Instead of getting sun, you know, 2 or 3 hours a day, now it's getting sun 6 to 7 hours a day, and it makes a difference, obviously. As far as that goes, there's another wet spot over there. The field's pretty gooey. And I saw the cloud coming in last night, and I thought, oh, please go over us. Because I was just about ready to, probably like today, come out and hit this one more time, or a couple more times, and then, because it's already fertilized and everything's done, it just needs fit. And go from there. But so much for that. You know, I'm not really stressed about it since it is soybeans. I mean, like I said, my best year I got them in on May 27th. And it was a bumper crop. It was just stellar. So based on that, and based on the fact that I don't have a choice, you know, that's what I'll do and end up going with. So no big deal. But that's the update. I'll walk down here to the creek and show you the elevation levels of that. My friend Eddie's supposed to come over. He bought a 1953 Simplicity tractor. It's one of those, I don't know how to explain it. It almost looks like a rototiller in the back. It actually reminds me of if you know what a David Bradley is, tractor, it reminds me of that. But it's a Simplicity, and it's got a sickle bar cutter in the front. And he bought it primarily to cut food plots. versus brush hogging them. Man, I don't know how close I want to get to that creek, but you can see there's a deer trail here. They just come right through here. And there's the apple trees. These are all apple trees, which is part of the reason they're so attracted to the area. When I say they, I mean deer, white-tailed deer. I'll walk over here and show you. Now, this is just one day's rain that did this. It's been fairly dry for 3 or 4 days, and actually this was fishable yesterday. Somebody was fishing this. Now I won't get too close to that bank, but you can see it's kind of a raging river. That apple tree is essentially down in the water, but it's been like that for about 5 years and whatnot. That patch over there is just I don't know, in the old days they used to just bulldoze that entire ground over there, probably 3 acres, and just push it over to here, and then the creek ran down on the back side of that. Do that now, they'd probably put you in the federal penitentiary. So, but either way, that's what's going on so far today. And I looked at the forecast, and I think 20% chance of rain tomorrow, and then the rest of the days in the week are 10%. I may have already said that, but hey, maybe you just fast forward through my video and needed to hear it again. But impressed at how fast everything grows. But anyways, 2014, we got absolutely pounded with rain. I mean, pounded. And then come July, we didn't get a drop. We couldn't steal a drop. The normal precipitation here in July is 4 inches. And I think in July we got 1/4 of an inch. And it all came in one day. And I think it was actually the first or second day of the month when we got it. So I'm hoping it's not one of those years. I'm hoping we are just having a wet spring, and in July we do get our 3-4 inches. By then all the crops are canopied anyways. I mean, the beans are 2-3 feet tall, and the ground should be canopied enough to hold the moisture in the ground. Well, my friends here, I'll go check out this 53 Simplicity tractor. So what year is this? 1953?
Yep.
All right, so it's just like the David Bradley. Of course, you're not really getting a good look at it because the back piece where you sit on, which attaches here, is not attached to it, but this is it. It's got a sickle section in the front. You can, I don't know, you can cut goldenrod with it or anything tall. So that is his little tractor that he bought, but you can see here, I mean, in the plow furrows, it's holding water. Now you come back in a couple of days. I mean, this does dry out well, so I'm not too depressed about it. And I still do have time to get a good crop in, or at least get it planted in time to get what I feel is a decent crop. So I'm not worried about it, but I'm swimming, just like a lot of people are, but it'll dry out. I'm convinced. Have a good evening. Thanks for viewing.